Are you a first-time mom who's trying to maneuver the waters of parenthood and working from home? Maybe you're considering working from home and you're just trying to figure out how to do that as a new mom. I get it. My name is Morgan Remuth and I am a stay-at-home mom of 3 boys ages 5 and under, and I run my own business from home. It can be a little crazy sometimes, and I remember those days early on in motherhood when I was trying to work from home with a newborn baby. So today I'm going to be sharing some top tips from my heart to yours and what's worked for me, and I hope that it will work for you as well. If you like what I have to share today, I want to personally invite you over to my Facebook group for stay-at-home moms. It's my desire to share what's working and what hasn't worked for me in the past in that group. I like to provide free resources for you as a stay-at-home mom so that you can thrive in this journey of motherhood/business. It can be a lot, so show yourself some grace and hop on over to that group. I'll attach the link below. Okay, without further ado, let's dive into today's subject. So you're a new mom who works remotely from home, or maybe you're a new mom who's considering starting a job that works from home. I remember the transition to being a full-time stay-at-home mom. It was a dream come true, but there were definitely some challenges along the way that I didn't expect. I want to dive right now into some practical advice, since that's what you're here for, and share with you some top tips as you begin or continue in your work from home journey as a new mom. If you are serious about being a good stay-at-home mom and a businesswoman, then watch to the end, because I'm going to be sharing a shift that took place in my mindset, and I really believe that it will help you too. Okay, first off, I want to encourage you to get help through this season of postpartum. You might already be 6 to 12 weeks post-labor and delivery, but you're still really in that postpartum window of life. And you just added a baby. That's a huge life change. I used to work in human resources when I was working full-time in the business world, and we dealt with insurance a lot. And in insurance, when you have a big major life event or life change, you qualify for insurance change. Some of the top things that would warrant a big life change or life event would be the loss of a loved one, the loss of a job, or adding a new family member. In my opinion, adding a new family member into the mix could quite possibly be the biggest life change that you will undergo, because you are taking care of someone who is completely reliant upon you. And we're talking to new moms here. So this is likely your first child that you've at least delivered, or maybe you've adopted, but it's your first baby that you're raising. And it's a huge change to just go from being independent. Most women, now there are a few exceptions to this, but most women are not entirely responsible for someone else's life when they have a baby. So it's completely new. It can truly be overwhelming. Add to that the rapid change of hormones and your body chemistry, and the labor pains and recovery pains that you might be experiencing after labor, and you've got a recipe for a hot mess mama. So truly be willing to accept help in your recovery period and even beyond. If someone's willing to help you, accept it. You don't get an award for being independent mom over here. There is no award for being independent. So don't be so focused on achieving independence that you only give your family a 10% operating version of yourself, because you burnt out in your effort to do it all. Okay, piggybacking off of that first point, I want to kind of go right into my second point, which is on the topic of sleep deprivation. Listen, to me, that is the hardest thing about recovering from having a baby. And you wouldn't think that, but when you are chronically losing sleep over time, it affects your performance. It affects your mindset, your mood, your health. So it's really important that you are compensating for some of that sleep deprivation that you might be experiencing. Now, some of my babies were really good sleepers, but I still was highly affected by the lack of sleep. And now, if you've never had a kid, maybe you don't have any stepkids and this is truly your first baby, I can speak to that for a second. You're probably going from a life of what was normal to be able to sleep as long as you wanted, or I don't know, there weren't as many demands on you from another human being. Even if you're married and your spouse is demanding, it's just different. You know, your spouse is an adult. They can take care of themselves to a measure, but a baby is fully reliant on you. And so you're probably going from nights of, if you wanted to stay up and push hard the next day because you know, hey, I'll sleep the next day whenever I want. If you're going from that to now you have a baby, it's a big adjustment. And at the beginning, your body is not used to losing so much sleep. Now, eventually you will adjust and you'll probably not require as much sleep in the future as a mom, because you'll find that there will be seasons that your baby just wakes up more in the night. And even into toddler phases and older toddlers or kids, they still get up in the night sometimes. They have a bad dream. They need help going to the bathroom, just different things. So you're gonna find that you're not gonna require quite as much sleep, but that big jump from normal sleep to almost no sleep with a newborn, it's so drastic and it can really throw you off. I know for me, it kind of threw me into almost a depression, and I felt more anxious when I wasn't getting enough sleep. So definitely in this season of not only just postpartum, but trying to work as a new mom, you need to make sure you're getting enough sleep. Otherwise, you won't be at your optimal performance. You won't be able to think quite as clearly on the job and as a mom. You won't be able to make decisions as easily. You won't be as focused. So it's just really important that you get your sleep. With a newborn, they sleep more. And I feel like this is God's way of blessing us and helping us adjust to that new life that we're taking care of. So maybe, newborns take quite a few naps in the day. So maybe you use some of those naps as productivity time and then some of the naps as rest time for yourself. When a baby's taking 2 bigger naps in the day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, maybe you use that morning nap for your productivity time because you're probably still fresh. And then that afternoon nap, you can relax. However you choose to spend those windows of nap time, just make sure that you're not neglecting your need for rest. Okay, so those were a couple of practical things to watch out for and to implement into your daily life now as a new mom and a working mom. Now I'm going to share a shift that took place in my mindset that I really wish I had known as a new mom. You see, when I was waiting for my first to be born, I was so huge. I thought he would be early, and I didn't know it was a boy at the time, but it's a boy. So I thought he was gonna come early and I couldn't wait to have him. And then my due date was approaching, still didn't have the baby. I knew it was healthy for the baby to be in the womb up to my full term, but I was starting to get uncomfortable. I could not wait to have this baby. And I think a lot of moms out there can relate. So then my due date came and it went. I still didn't have the baby. And another week went by, a couple more days went by, and we were getting pretty close to having to go and evict the baby through induction. But finally I did go into labor, and then it was a very long, drawn out back labor, and I won't go into it. Labor is labor, and I feel like all moms that have labor pretty much can say it was pretty intense. But right after the baby was born, I was so happy. There he was, and then I got home and man, everything came crashing down. Postpartum blues were hitting me pretty hard. Family came in, family was leaving. There was just like, oh, one family member's leaving and I'm sad they're leaving. Family members coming, I'm happy they're coming. And it was just a lot of up and down. And then I just remember thinking, I couldn't wait for the baby to come. And now I'm kind of wishing I could for one night go back to the way life was before. And take that with a grain of salt. That sounds terrible. I had this realization that there is no refund on babies. I didn't want my baby to die. I didn't want to return him. I just remembered realizing that the life I had of independence with my husband, it was forever changed. I would never not be a mom anymore. And it was beautiful, but it just was more so overwhelming. Eventually I adjusted to mom life and came to find that I loved it. When postpartum went away, I definitely started thriving even more so, especially when I started sleeping more. That made a big difference. But over the years as a mom, and I've had 3 babies in the last 5 years, so I've kind of back to back experienced those postpartum phases and those early days of having a new baby and how overwhelming it can be to add a new family member into your home. And what I have found over the years, I heard it said, and it just really impacted my life, is that things are never going to be the way they were before. Your body's not going to be the same it was before. Even if you lose all your weight, you've changed. Your shape is different. Your family is different now. Everything is different, and that's okay. That woman that you've always dreamed of being has to go through the refining fire of motherhood. So don't despise the changes that are happening as a mom, and don't be disappointed in yourself when you struggle, because this is developing you and growing you into a better person overall. Embrace the new you, because she is so much greater and so much stronger than the old version of you that sometimes you might find yourself missing. Okay, well, I hope that this has given you some value today. If you like what I've shared, I want to again invite you over to my Facebook group for moms. I'll attach the link below. There's a lot of free resources over there, lots of encouragement that I think that you will really find beneficial as you continue your journey through motherhood and being a businesswoman. Okay, well, that's all I have to say for now. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.